Nuestro siguiente invitado es un gran hombre que creció aquí en Los Ángeles, atendió la escuela Fairfax, la High School Fairfax. Cuando los Dodgers ganaron la primera serie mundial en la costa este en 1959, Chuck Cesar estuvo ahí. Es uno de los dos hombres que han jugado los dos juegos en el Rose Bowl en 1952 con Stanford University. Así que le damos la bienvenida al señor Chuck Chavez. Please.
I'm here today in the position of representing the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball organization, which is, in my opinion, probably the finest organization in baseball today. For some time now, the Dodgers have made a very strong and tremendous effort to reach out to and to connect with communities here in the Los Angeles and Southern California area. And my presence today really is an attempt to further the Dodgers' commitment in pursuit of that effort. Today, the City of Glendale honors the life of a truly courageous American hero, Cesar Chavez. Chavez was born the son of immigrant, migrant farm workers. When he was just 11 years old, Mr. Chavez and his family lost their home in Arizona, packed up and moved to California, where they continued to work as migrant farm owners. At the right age, Mr. Chavez volunteered to join the United States Navy, and after service in the United States Navy, he returned to California, where he continued to work as a migrant farm worker. Now, when Cesar Chavez was growing up, his family taught him many things. And among the many things that he learned from his parents were four important principles that Mr. Chavez adhered to and practiced for his entire life. One of those principles was to work hard. His parents taught him that it was hard work that would help him succeed in this country. Another one of the principles that Mr. Chavez adhered to during his life was the principle of making sure he got a good education. His parents knew that that opportunity was available to him here in this country, where they didn't have the opportunity where they migrated from. A third principle that Mr. Chavez practiced during his entire life, which was a really important principle that some of us forget sometimes, was to always be respectful to other people. And the fourth principle that he was taught by his parents, that he continued to exercise through his entire career, was that when people needed help, you reached out to them and helped them. Now, as a son of migrant farm workers, and then as a farm worker himself, Mr. Chavez knew firsthand about the deplorable conditions that the farm workers worked under in in which they suffered because of the attitudes of some of the farm owners at that period of time. He knew that the farm workers were underpaid. He knew that they were living in deplorable working and living conditions. And he knew that they were unjustly and unfairly treated by the landowners. So with Mr. Chavez's lifelong cause to do one thing, and one thing only, as long as he did nothing else, and that was to better and improve the conditions of the farm workers. He knew that were suffering under some of these conditions. So the first thing Mr. Chavez did was to organize the farm workers. And that was hard work, something he had learned from his parents. And it was not only hard work, but it was a tremendous feat because nobody had ever been able to organize the farm workers up to that point in time. And after he was able to organize the farm workers, knowing that there was strength in numbers, he then was able to induce the farm owners to improve the working and living conditions of the workers, to pay them a better wage, and to treat them in a fair and just manner. And so what basically Mr. Chavez was able to do was to bring justice to the farm workers. And after he was able to achieve that, he helped the state of California pass legislation by ensuring justice for all farm workers in the future. After he was able to achieve these important things for the farm workers, and as a result of the work he did for the farm workers, Mr. Chavez received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and he received the Thomas Jefferson Awards for public service. Now, the most striking thing to me, from my perspective as a former baseball player, is the similarities of the qualities, the characteristics, and the principles that Mr. Chavez possessed compared to the qualities and principles and characteristics of Major League ball players that played way back when I played. For instance, perseverance. It took Mr. Chavez many years in order to accomplish what he did for the farm workers. But during that entire period of time, working himself as a farm worker, he never, ever gave up. He continued to persevere until he prevailed with what he wanted to do for the farm workers. For a Major League ball player, in order to reach the big leagues, they also had to be able to persevere because they faced defeat every single day. And they followed the same principles that Mr. Chavez followed in persevering. They were able to persevere until they prevailed also. Self-confidence. Cesar Chavez was confident that if he continued trying to convince the farm owners to improve the conditions of the farm worker, that he would be able to do it. He felt it in his gut, so he continued to try to convince the landowners to change. And if he didn't feel confident about his position and about his ability to do that, he would have stopped trying. Well, Major League ball players face defeat every day, and they did the same thing. They never give up. You have to keep working because that's what you have to do in order to prevail. The hard work ethic that Mr. Chavez's parents had taught him carried him through this difficult time of attempting to convince the landowners that they should change their positions and improve the working and living conditions and the pay and treatment of the farm workers. And baseball players in the old days had that same attitude. They were used to kind work, hard work, and they were able to produce the results they wanted because of their attitude regarding hard work. Mr. Chavez had the attitude that you never allow defeat to change your goals or to give up your goals. It took him, as I stated before, years and years and years of trying to convince the farm owners to change their attitude toward the farm workers. But during that short period of time that he was defeated, he had many, many talks with the farm owners, and he came away feeling defeated, but he never allowed those defeats to give up his goal of pursuing better improvements in conditions for the farm workers. And baseball players in the old days had to do the same thing. When you consider that a baseball player who reaches a hitting average of 300 in the major leagues, which is a benchmark for major league ball players, actually fails 70% of the time, you can understand why ball players would follow that same example. Failing 70% of the time would defeat a lot of people, not Mr. Chavez and not baseball players in the old days, because they continued to do what Mr. Chavez did. He was able to continue to persevere until they prevailed, and neither one, Mr. Chavez or the old-time baseball players, would ever allow a defeat to stop them from reaching their goals. Sacrifice, self-sacrifice. Mr. Chavez actually sacrificed his life in order to improve the plight of the farm workers. I'm sure it wasn't a joy for him to continually fighting with the farm workers every day. He could have been doing more enjoyable things, but it was his cause. And he sacrificed his life in order to be able to accomplish the things that he achieved in helping the farm workers. Baseball players in the old days would do the same things. They would have to sacrifice a lot of things they would like to do in order to go out and practice, improve their talents, and be able to reach the big leagues. So in that sense, there was a great comparison between baseball players in the old days and Mr. Chavez. Respect. Mr. Chavez learned from his parents as a young boy to always be respectful to others. And when a person is respectful to the other side, to other people, he may not always win the argument that he's pursuing, but what he does win is the respect of the people on the other side. Because I'm sure those farm workers, those farm owners, would have never capitulated to Mr. Chavez's demands if they did not have a great deal of respect for him. Another principle that Mr. Chavez practiced was that of dedication. He was absolutely dedicated to helping the plight of the farm worker. And with that dedication that he felt in his gut, he was able to achieve what he wanted to achieve for the farm workers. The same principle applied to ball players. If you weren't dedicated to being a ball player and had to sacrifice and persevere by going out and practicing and doing things that other boys weren't doing, that you'd rather be doing, you weren't going to be able to reach the big leagues. So, I think, not only in his own field, but in all other walks of life, we can all learn those life lessons from Mr. Chavez's life, which he sacrificed in helping to find all kinds of improvement for the farm workers. And I guess if I were to say it in a different way, if Mr. Chavez had been a ball player in his days and had the talent to play ball, he probably would have been as great a ball player as he was a man, and that's because he had all these great characteristics. And I think, in my opinion, it would probably be wise to say what Mr. Chavez followed all his life, and the only Spanish that I probably know, "Sí se puede." Yes, I can. Thanks a lot for being here today, and thank you.
On behalf of the City of Glendale, we'd like to give you this commendation, which I'll read into the record. Presented to Charcasigian Cesar Chavez 14th Annual Celebration. On behalf of the City of Glendale, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for your involvement in celebrating the life and work of Cesar Chavez. Your commitment and support to make this event successful is exemplary. Thank you for being a part of Cesar Chavez 14th Annual Celebration.
Ya lo dijo, perseverancia, sacrificio para llegar a la meta, dedicación y respeto. Las claves de César Chávez para lograr lo que pudo lograr, sindicalizando a todos los trabajadores, apoyándolos y pudiendo hacer lo que ahora muchos continuamos haciendo, seguir trabajando para nuestra comunidad. Quiero invitar a todas esas personas que están ahí atrás que se vengan para acá, para adelante. Va a empezar la fiesta, va a empezar la música más movida, hay regalos para los niños, hay bicicletas, así que disfruten bien este día y si ven gente allá afuera, invítenla a pasar. Ahora quiero continuar con el programa y le vamos a dar un fuerte aplauso a Bobby Rivas y su banda que nos van a deleitar con un poquito de música sabrosa, así que se oiga el aplauso. Thank you. Thank you for all the sponsors, entertainment, Cesar Chavez Celebration Committee, Community Services, and Park Pacific Central staff. Now, I want to give the mic to Ara Najarian, Council Member, City of Glendale.
Thank you, Palmyra. We truly appreciate all your hard work at being such a wonderful mistress of ceremony. You've given Cesar Chavez Day a certain bit of life for the past few years with your dancing ability and your humor on the stage. So on behalf of the City Council, I'd like to present you with the Mayor's Commendation for the 14th Annual Celebration of Cesar Chavez Day, signed by the Mayor, and it says that we all express our sincere appreciation for your participation as the Mistress of Ceremonies and your involvement in celebrating the life and work of Cesar Chavez. So thank you very much. Let's hear it for Palmyra Perez.
Well, thank you. This is the third year that I've been working with City of Glendale. Thank you, I didn't expect that, but I thought you were going to do some raffles. For the people, not for me. Thank you, City of Glendale. Now we're ready. What's the prizes? Oh, bicycles. Who wants a bicycle? 2253. 2253. 2253. ¿Ya? ¿Allá salió? Vamos a ver. 22. Ya, este es. Ahora, pick your bike. 2294. Nada. Okay, bueno, su bicicleta ahí está. Thank you, the Allen Company, to donate the bikes for this event. Thank you so much. Thank you all the sponsors, thank you the council members, thank you our special guest today to come here and talk so nice about the Cesar Chavez legacy. Y esperamos que todos continúen con el legado de Cesar Chavez. Muchísimas gracias, nos vamos a quedar con el mariachi Las Colibríes. Fuerte el aplauso.
Thank you very much. That concludes our program. We want to thank everyone for coming out today in the community. We want to especially thank our MC, Palmera Perez, Najari. We also want to thank the Lounge Trio, and of course, Chuck Kasijian, our guest speaker. Thank you, sir, for being here today. Thank you for your words. The Bobby Rivas Band, and of course, the mariachis, thank you so much. Thank you to all of our community groups. Thank you to community services, all of our partners and our sponsors. We hope to see you here again next year. Thank you for coming.